Okay, hello biologists. The purpose of this video is to take you through the last little bit of the setup of your mathematical model, the Hardy-Weinberg equation, which is making our graph. So I'm going to share my screen with you. And I have two things open here. I have our lab manual, and then of course I have my spreadsheet. So here in my manual, yesterday we made it through this paragraph right here, I do believe, where we use our P and Q and double checked our spreadsheet and everything looked fantastic. And we knew the number of each allele and each allele's frequency for the next generation. So this is what we're going to make in our graph. And you can see a sample graph that they have right there in their spreadsheet. So it says copy the cells, oh no, that's what we did. Use the sum function, yada yada, we already did that, okay. Okay, we're in the very last sentence of that paragraph. Make a bar graph of the genotype using the chart tool. Your spreadsheet should resemble figure 8. Okay, so let's make a graph. They have the 3 different genotypes on their graph, AA, AB, and BB. And they have the numbers of offspring on the y-axis. Okay, so I'm going to go to my Hardy-Weinberg spreadsheet. And I have a good feeling. Okay, I'm going to highlight these 3 numbers right here. Okay, and I'm going to go to insert. Okay, actually, before I do that, I'm going to open a desktop app. The online version of Excel works fine for some things, but I really don't like it for editing graphs. So I'm going to go to open a desktop app first. And then once this opens, I will switch my share to that. That's me reminding myself to do that. It's thinking. It's still thinking. Okay, there it is. Okay, so I'm going to do new share. And I'm going to go to my new Excel document I just opened. Okay, so I'm going to hit F9 a couple times to make sure everything's still working okay. Yay, it is. Okay, and so the graph, what I want to include on my graph is the sum for each genotype, the AA, AB, and BB. So I'm going to highlight these 3 numbers right here, and I'm going to go to Insert Chart, and I want a bar graph. So I'm just going to click on that one right there. I prefer a traditional bar graph. Some of you, I know, may prefer the 3D one or whatever. That's fine, but just don't get fancy and try and stack them, okay? Okay, so here is my AA, ABs, and BBs. And I know that because the numbers are 3, 10, and 3, which matches my spreadsheet. But I can't tell that by looking at my graph because it doesn't give me any of that information. So the first thing I want to do, instead of saying 1, 2, and 3 here, I want to label that with my genotypes. I'm going to right click on my graph. I'm going to go select data, okay? And I can do my horizontal category axis labels, and I'm going to edit that. And what I want them to be named is AA, AB, and BB. So I'm just going to highlight those 3 things there. I could have typed them in with commas, but rule number 1 of Excel, don't type anything when you can just click on it. Okay, so I'm going to hit OK, and now it tells them AA, AB, BB. Okay, and so now my bars are labeled with what their genotype is. Now I want to add some axis titles to my graph because right now they're just letters and I don't know, I know, but somebody else might not know what those letters mean. So to do that, let me show you one more time. I clicked on my graph. I did the little plus up here. Sometimes you click on your graph and the plus doesn't show up. So if you just click your graph and give it a little wiggle, that's usually enough to make the plus show up. I don't know why, but it works. I'm gonna look at that. Okay, so they call them genotypes. College Board did on their graph, so I'm going to call mine the same thing. So I'm going to double click on this axis title. I'm going to type, don't move. I'm going to double click on it and I'm going to type in the word genotypes. Okay, and then over on the y-axis, this is my number of individuals. I'm going to delete this. Type in number of individuals. INDIVIDUALS. Okay, and then the chart title, I'm going to give it the same chart title that they had on theirs. It's called Genotype Frequency in Next Generation. Okay, and that's because I started with my gametes, and those zygotes are the next generation, and those zygotes have genotypes, and this is the genotype frequency of those zygotes. Now here's the thing that's a little bit funky about this graph. I'm going to hit F9. I spelled generation wrong. I'm going to fix that first. GERATI. Okay, I'm going to hit F9. And my graph's going to change. I'm going to hit F9. And my graph's going to change. I'm going to hit F9. My graph's going to change. Okay, so that's as it ought to be because I made it live from that sum of each genotype row on my graph. I mean, on my spreadsheet, but it means we're going to have some challenges when it comes to sort of compiling this data. But here's a start. A couple aesthetics. I don't like these lines across my graph, so I always delete them. I don't like the border around my graph, so I always do no line around the border. Some people like to change the colors. I don't really care about the color. You can do that. My face is in the way. You can do that here with the fill, and I can make the color. Right now it's automatic, but I can make it, I don't know, orange. Oh, that was the border. Gross. No, go back to being whatever you were. Okay, I kind of like a black border around the edges. It makes it pop a little bit more. Let's go with the fill. Click on fill. I can do solid fill, and if I want to make it blue, and here next to my raspberry bushes, there's all these buzzy bees on it. They're orange and yellow, so I'm going to make mine kind of peach. Okay, my bees are not peach. But anyway, salmon berries are certain blue. There we go. Okay, so here's your graph. Here's where you can change some things about it. I also like to make it a little wider, but I can't quite remember how you, oh, maybe, no, that's the width of the border. Can't quite remember how you make it wide. The bar is wider. Oh, I think it's here. There we go. Gap width. Okay, and they're nice. The gap between them is much smaller, okay? So that's how you can kind of change the way that your graph looks, make it your own. And then, so make your graph, make it awesome. And then next video, we will move on to make the spreadsheets a little bit more exciting. All right, I hope you are doing well and see you next time.